Yeah, good, thanks. Hello, everybody.
Where are we? Press me, can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you, yeah.
Pourquoi il est là, la dame, là?
It's a privilege, mate, and we're happy to sort of show you what it is today. But your work's always good, my friend. Always good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm glad to be involved in your
Sorry.
event. Thank you for having me on board.
Thanks for being here, even though you're a long way away. Just before we start, I'm going to show the video.
Elle est là. Non, 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 non.
You mean, why did I make
Elle est là.
documentary?
Oui, elle est là. Je sais plus comment elle s'appelle.
I mean, so did you just watch the Subterraneans video?
Yeah.
Right, so how it started was I just wanted a way to explain why I made that video. Because, like, you know, you and I know, and some Bowie fans know, that Subterraneans was a leftover from, was the only leftover that we have from the soundtrack that was abandoned, right? And so it was a no-brainer that there should be a video with the Subterraneans as a soundtrack based on, you know, with scenes from the Man Above Tour. But it was just an obvious project to undertake. And as I was completing it, it came out, I was quite satisfied with it, and I just thought, some people aren't going to get what this is all about, and I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll just quickly string together, you know, the 3 or 4 little bits of interviews that we have where he talks about working on the soundtrack with Paul Buckmaster and Visconti and so on, Maslin. I'll just string those together, it'll be about 5 minutes. And, you know, 6 months later, I produced a documentary, basically. You know, I got really into it. I got really, really into it. And the more I researched, the more material I found. It just sort of fashioned itself into a documentary by itself, in a way.
It's that Bowie look for it's just iconic and it's just present wherever he goes. I just think it's a marvellous time for Bowie. When did you become a Bowie?
11, 12 years old, I think. It was like 77. I was, yeah, right. 77. I was into Elvis and the Beach Boys and ABBA, I think, and then Saturday Night Fever and all the, you know, the things that were happening at the time. And somehow Bowie, I think it was Space Oddity, you know, caught my attention, and I bought Changes 1, and it just kicked off from there, really. Yeah, you know, within a year of that, I had just about everything that he put out, and I knew every note. You know, I didn't like all of it, I have to say. Something I couldn't understand at that age. I couldn't understand young Americans. I couldn't understand Low at that age. But you know, I just loved him. I just thought, well, here we are. He's my guy. You know, like I'm sure everybody in this room.
But everybody finds a different route to him, but eventually he creeps into all of our lives. That's an absolute fact. Just quick, do you know there's been a lot of talk about the '78 David Hemmings film?
Yes.
So, do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I know about it. Yeah.
Well, tell me about it, because nobody's saying anything, mate.
Yeah, nobody's saying anything. Well, it's finished. People have seen it. I haven't seen it.
There's a finished edit of it out there.
Yeah, it's done. It was finished last year.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, when was the first Liverpool, the first Bowie convention? That was 23, 22, 21. In 2021, somebody commented on one of my 1978 videos on YouTube. I'm one of the editors working on Monet's Daydream, and you'll be interested to know that we have digitized all 70 reels of the David Hemmings material, you know, at 4K from the original 35mm, at so many megahertz and blah blah, and all this technical information that no regular person could know, and other details. And I was like, wow, you know, and I immediately replied, said, fantastic, how, you know, can you answer these other questions? And within about an hour, his message, his comment was deleted. Yeah, but I presume, you know, his boss, Brett, had said that, what the fuck are you doing, man? You can't have that up there. Anyway, whatever. So I already knew that there was something happening, and then I know that last week was finished. I know that some people have seen it, and I've heard that it's really excellent. I've heard that it doesn't contain any escalators or mode nebula or any of that, you know.
Okay, alright, so that's finished in cameras. We just need to wait for somebody to release it so we can all get our VDIs on it. Do you think it'll happen?
Yeah, I don't have any inside information, but my feeling is it will come out this year.
Oh, okay. I'm going to hold you to that, Vegas. Can't get away from this, Nigel. Fabulous. Listen, you just mentioned then about doing that Moon Age daydream. So did you get access to some of that footage that all the Bowie estate have got, etc.? You know, that early Ziggy?
No, they've never given me anything.
You couldn't nick anything while you were there, just a couple of reels?
No, I mean, you know, I'm friendly with them, and I do things for them, as you know, but they've never given me anything, and I don't want to stretch my luck. I mean, it's great that they give me a bit of their blessing, and they let me. And they put some of my stuff on there, on the official site. And I don't want to start trying to scrounge things from them. And also, most of the visual stuff, they don't really own it anyway. So mostly it's owned by, you know, TV stations and so on. So that's been my target, really, is making contacts at distributors and, you know, things like that to get the material, because the Bowie estate don't own most of it.
Okay.
Oui, il parle de Bowie Estate.
You know the Diamond Dogs footage, have you seen it?
The black and white footage that we've seen. The
full colour that was being filmed. It's obviously filmed at the time, but it's just like one of these holy grails, isn't it? It's mythical.
I have some information about it. I mean, what can I say? Somebody had a copy of it all, but it wasn't the first generation. Like one of the fans, or some of the fans had, not first, but some generation copy of all of the outtakes, of all of the, not outtakes, all of the raw material, the raw footage. And so there's been a lot of rumours about that, and there's been a lot of people like myself asking, well, can we have it? You know, can we have a copy? You know. But then the last thing I heard was that the one sort of definite person that I thought I knew had it said that they don't have it anymore.
What's his name?
I'm not going to say, but I thought, well, you know, if I play a long game with this, I might be able to get hold of it. And then, in the end, and this information only came to me a few months ago, they basically said, no, I don't have it anymore. I don't have it. I don't have it. So make of, make of that what you will. You know, I mean, if it was me, I would never let go of it. You know.
Do you think that footage will ever see the light of day? Because I mean, I'm crying after it. I've been crying after it for years. So has everybody else.
Well, yeah. Well, I know that the BBC don't have it because Francis told me that they don't have it. You know, the director of the 5 years documentaries. So the BBC don't have it. The Bowie estate don't have it or didn't have it. Again, I have no facts about this, but my feeling is that Tony DeFries has it.
Really?
Ah.
Yeah, that's just my feeling. That's just my feeling. Like
Ok.
all roads seem to lead to him,
Tony
but
DeFries, c'est le
that,
premier
to me.
producteur de Bowie. Ouais, bah oui, de cette époque-là. Et je suis amie avec sa
Well, I
femme.
mean, they filmed it during that era, and DeFries was still the manager, and Mayman was still a going concern, and he would have asked for copies. So yeah, the BBC filmed it, but he would have for sure asked for copies. And then the fact that these sort of second or third generation copies apparently existed suggests that they were,
Ils les vendent peut-être pas. Hein.
If DeFries had a copy of the BBC footage and then there was, anyway, you get the picture. Yeah. So my feeling is that he may have it, but you know, I don't know him. I've never approached him.
He lives in New Zealand now, doesn't he?
I don't know where he lives. I don't know where. I did meet him once. I went to a meeting with him once.
You've not got an address.
Si je mets un mot dans le commentaire de Sanana, oui.
How did you phrase it in South Africa?
What? Hang on a minute. Question from the audience. Audience participation, Nigel. 1 second, mate.
Yes, please.
Tony de Vries is said to be in South Africa.
Oh, apparently he's in South Africa, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, okay.
What if we all chipped in?
Well, I think it
We can track you down.
well, you know, you can send me there and I'll have a look around from it, like. But Darling Gillespie, I met Darling Gillespie at the
Eh,
event.
comme beaucoup, hein.
She told me that he's poorly, you know, he's not doing so well.
Okay. Where does that leave it though? I mean, just if eventually we all decide that it's supposed to be what happens to all the stuff that he's got hold of? Do you think?
I mean, I just shudder to think, you know, I mean, I don't know, I mean, there's other things that exist with people, and like what happens if those people pass away, or you know, they go to their grave with all these things on their hard drives that just get scrubbed. I mean, it's makes you sick if you think about it.
And that's why we need to collect names and addresses. Has anybody else got any questions, by the way? No? Just me then? So, I'm going to put the documentary on in a second, and I'll let you...
Sure.
I'll let you get back to your dinner, or your tea, or whatever you're having right now.
It's 9 p.m. That's already done. Yes, or yeah, basically.
Bed then, yeah, I get it, mate. You're not buying there's hours left, you could be working.
Yeah, no, but I get up at 4:30 in the morning every morning.
Crazy, man. I mean, I'm 6, so that seems too early for me. No. Just last question, what can we expect from the documentary, man? What do you think? What can we expect from it?
Well, I mean, I think some of the guys have seen it before. I mean, like I said, it came together by happenstance, but it does have form, it does have a narrative. There are different chapters, how it came together, what happened on the set, how it affected Bowie going forward, and then what happened to the music. So these are the chapters, and I think that it does quite a good job of showing us, because there are other documentaries. There's Criterion that put out the original Laserdisc and DVD. They put out a documentary, but it's boring, you know. It's like long interviews with people that you don't really care about, like the producer and stuff. So this documentary is centered around David Bowie and Candy Clark, you know, and it doesn't get into the Farnsworth character or the Bryce character, which, you know, we're always there as just spoiled in that film for me. It's really about Bowie being betrayed.
La nana qui a parlé tout à l'heure au début, qui a été la comédienne qui a joué avec lui.
I think as Bowie fans, it's a nice exploration of what he was doing, you know, what things were, how the film came together, like I said, and so on. I do have if I get the time, if I can clear a lot of space, I'd quite like to remake it for next year, because next year is obviously the 50th anniversary. And my one regret about it is that I called it David Bowie is the man whose work. I shouldn't have called it that, it's too long. And of course, it doesn't distinguish itself sufficiently from the name of the movie. What I should have called it, if I remake it, I will call it, it's something that Nick Rhodes says at one point, and it's in the documentary. At one point, Nick Rhodes says that some of the money people were asking, "Are you sure that Bowie's up to this? I mean, can he act as an alien?" I mean, you know. And Rhodes says, "Well, you tell me, how does an alien act?" You know, and that's what I would rather call the documentary. If I remake it, I'll call it "How Does an Alien Act?"
Yeah, well, okay, I'll go with that. Just carry on to that, just sort of. Have you seen Lazarus?
I haven't.
It's a safe one.
Yeah.
I'm turning left.
Yeah.
When I should be going straight on, but enough is enough. Don't worry about it, mate. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give a big hand to Nigel? Thank you very much.
Whoa! Bravo! Bye. We are Bowie family. Oh, je m'en fous.